I found the love of my life in bed with my best friend. 3 days before our wedding, they expected tears, weakness, silence. They forgot I'm the girl who built a business from nothing, who negotiated million-dollar contracts, who never backed down from a fight. And I wasn't about to start on what was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. I kept the wedding, changed the script, and taught them both a lesson they'll never forget. Before we begin, comment where you're watching from. Enjoy the story. But before I tell you how I destroyed them both publicly, let me take you back to the moment that changed everything. The apartment was too quiet when Emma Walsh came home early from her bachelorette party. 29 years old, owner of a successful consulting firm, engaged to Michael Torres, the man she thought was her forever. Her friends were still at the club, but Emma's instinct screamed something was wrong. The same instinct that had saved her in business deals. The same instinct that had built her company from 0 to 7 figures in 4 years. She'd left her phone charging at home. No distractions. Just that uncomfortable feeling growing stronger with each step toward her bedroom. The door was cracked open. Movement inside. Voices. Michael's laugh. Deep, familiar. Then another voice. Female. Also familiar. Too familiar. What Emma saw next would have broken most people. But Emma Walsh wasn't most people. She pushed the door open. Michael, her fiancé of 2 years, the man who'd proposed on a beach in Santorini, who'd cried when she said yes, who'd spent the last year planning their perfect wedding, and Sophie, Emma's best friend since freshman year of college, her maid of honor, the woman who'd helped her try on 17 wedding dresses, who'd thrown her bachelorette party, who'd given that beautiful speech about friendship and loyalty just 3 hours ago, in Emma's bed, in Emma's apartment, in Emma's life. They didn't notice her immediately, too caught up in their betrayal to sense the shift in the room's energy. Sophie saw her first. Her face drained of all color in an instant. She grabbed for the sheets, eyes wide with genuine terror. "Emma, oh my God, this isn't what?" Emma's voice came out eerily calm, almost detached, like she was watching this happen to someone else, like she was narrating a case study in one of her business presentations. "Isn't you having sex with my fiancé in my bed 3 days before my wedding?" They gathered their clothes in silence. Sophie tried one more time at the door. I'm so sorry. I never wanted to hurt you. You have to believe that. We fell in love and we didn't know how to tell you and get out." Emma's voice was flat, dead. "You're dead to me. Both of you." She slammed the door behind them, stood in her bedroom staring at the rumpled sheets, the engagement photos on the nightstand, the wedding dress hanging on the closet door like a ghost of the future she'd planned. Most people would have collapsed, called their mother, cried for days. But Emma Walsh had built a $1 million business by turning disasters into opportunities. This was just another problem to solve. She walked to her laptop, opened it, started making a list. By dawn, she had a plan, the kind of plan that would have made Sinlu proud. And what Emma discovered next made her plan even more devastating. She accessed Michael's laptop. They shared an iCloud account he didn't know she knew about. She scrolled through messages between him and Sophie. Not just recent ones. 6 months of them. And what she found made her blood run cold. They'd been planning this. Not the affair, the breakup, the exit strategy. March 15th, Michael. "We can't keep doing this. We need to tell her." March 15th, Sophie. Not yet. Let her have the wedding planning. She's so happy. We'll tell her after. April 3rd, Michael. After the wedding? That's cruel. April 3rd, Sophie. No. We tell her the morning of the wedding. I'll say I'm sick. You'll get cold feet. We disappear together. She deals with the guests. Then we're free. They were going to humiliate her in front of 200 people. But Emma had other plans. Emma read every message, every detail of their plan to abandon her at the altar, to make her look like the fool who never saw it coming. They'd discussed how to minimize damage to their reputations while maximizing hers. How to make it look like Emma was too focused on her career to be a good partner. How to paint themselves as the victims of her ambition. Sophie had even written, "Everyone will understand. Emma's been so busy with work. They'll see why Michael needs someone more present." Emma's sister, Lauren, was the first call she made at 6 a.m. "Lauren, I need you at my apartment now. Don't ask questions, just come." Lauren arrived within an hour, still in pajamas, eyes wild with panic. "What's wrong? Is Mom okay? Are you sick? Emma, you're scaring me. I caught Michael with Sophie last night, in our bed." Emma's voice was steady, clinical, like she was presenting quarterly earnings. What Emma told her sister next shocked even Lauren, and Lauren thought nothing could shock her anymore. Lauren's jaw literally dropped. "What? But the wedding is in 2 days. You're canceling, right? Please tell me you're canceling. We'll call everyone, explain there was an emergency. No one needs to know." "I'm not canceling." Emma's eyes had a look Lauren had never seen before. Cold, calculating, dangerous. "I'm pivoting." "Pivoting? Emma, this isn't a business strategy. Your fiancé cheated on you with your best friend. I know exactly what this is, and I know exactly what I'm going to do about it." Emma showed her sister the laptop, the messages, the exit strategy. Sophie and Michael's plan to humiliate her publicly. Lauren read them, her face hardening with each line. "These are from 2 weeks ago. They've been planning to abandon you at the altar. Which means they think I'm predictable? Weak. They think I'll just collapse and let them win." Emma closed the laptop. "They forgot something important." "What?" "I don't lose. Ever." The plan Emma revealed next was absolutely brilliant and absolutely brutal. "The wedding is happening," Emma said calmly. "Venue's paid for, non-refundable, food's ordered, flowers are arranged, DJ booked. 200 guests have hotels and travel plans. I'm not canceling." "Then what are you doing?" "You can't marry him. I'm not marrying him. But I am using our wedding." Emma pulled out her phone, showed Lauren a detailed timeline. "Michael and Sophie are going to attend. They're going to sit in the front row, and they're going to watch as I expose every single thing they've done in front of every person who matters in their lives." Lauren stared at her sister. "You're going to publicly destroy them. I'm going to publicly tell the truth. There's a difference." Emma's smile was ice, pure ice. "They wanted to use my wedding to humiliate me. I'm going to use it to reveal who they really are." But first, Emma had to get them both there, and what she did next was pure genius. That afternoon, Emma called Michael. She spent 30 minutes in front of the mirror practicing her voice. Soft, vulnerable, broken. Everything he expected. Everything he wanted to hear. "Michael?" She let her voice crack slightly. "It's me." "Em." He sounded relieved, hopeful. "I'm so glad you called. I've been going crazy. We need to talk about what happened. I've been thinking. About what you said, about us, about everything. I'm listening. She could hear the hope growing in his voice. The wedding, maybe we rushed into it, maybe we weren't ready, but I don't want to lose you over this. Over one mistake, silence on his end. She could almost hear his brain calculating, wondering if he'd gotten away with it. What are you saying, Em? I'm saying come to the venue tomorrow afternoon, just us. We need to talk face to face, really talk, figure out if we can work through this. Michael took the bait. Hook, line, and sinker. You'd still consider marrying me? After what I did. His voice was careful, testing. I love you, Michael. That doesn't just disappear because you made a mistake. We've built a life together. That has to count for something. The lie tasted like acid in her mouth, but she kept her voice steady. Come tomorrow, 2 p.m. We'll talk everything through. Decide what to do together. Emma, I don't know what to say. Thank you for giving me a chance. I know I don't deserve it, but just be there tomorrow. She hung up before he could say more, immediately called Sophie, used the same vulnerable voice, the same broken tone. Soph, I miss you. I don't want to lose my best friend over this. Sophie started crying immediately. Oh God, Emma. I thought you'd never speak to me again. I've been going crazy. I love you. You're my sister. I need to understand what happened. Why it happened. Can we talk at the venue tomorrow? Before I make any final decisions about the wedding. Yes, of course. What time? 2 p.m. Just us girls, like old times. Sophie agreed. Emma now had both of them exactly where she wanted them. Emma hung up and looked at Lauren. They both think you're forgiving them. They think I'm weak, desperate, so in love I'll overlook betrayal. They think I'm the same girl who cried when I didn't get into Harvard. They forgot I'm the woman who built a business when everyone said I'd fail. The next day, Emma arrived at the venue at noon, 2 hours early. The space was exactly as she'd planned it. White roses everywhere, fairy lights strung across the ceiling creating a magical glow. The arch where she was supposed to say vows to a man who'd been lying to her for 6 months. She set up her laptop, connected it to the venue's projector system, the same system they'd planned to use for their love story slideshow, loaded the presentation she'd created, screenshots of messages between Michael and Sophie, photos with timestamps, emails discussing their affair, hotel receipts, a complete timeline of 6 months of betrayal. But Emma wasn't done. She had one more surprise that would make this legendary. She'd also created a video, using the messages, set to the song that was supposed to be their first dance. Every lie, every plan, every moment they'd laughed about fooling her, cut together into 3 minutes of devastating truth. At 2 p.m. exactly, Michael arrived. He'd dressed nice, button-down shirt, the cologne she'd bought him, holding flowers. Actually holding flowers. Like that would fix 6 months of lying. Thank you for this, for giving us a chance to... Emma's voice was different now. Not vulnerable, not broken, cold, commanding. Front row. Sit. What? He looked confused. The flowers drooped in his hand. I said sit. Front row, now. Something in her tone made him obey. He sat, confusion replacing hope on his face. I thought we were going to talk privately. Michael had no idea what was about to happen, but he was about to find out. 15 minutes later, Sophie arrived. She saw Michael and froze in the doorway. Emma, what is this? You said just us girls. Change of plans. Sit next to him. Front row. I don't understand. Sit down now. Emma's voice cracked like a whip. Sophie sat. They exchanged panicked glances, both starting to realize this wasn't what they'd expected. The venue doors opened. Emma's parents walked in. Then Michael's parents, Sophie's mother, Lauren, friends, cousins, aunts, uncles, business associates, colleagues, everyone who'd been invited to the rehearsal dinner that was supposed to happen tonight, everyone who mattered in any of their lives. "What's going on?" Michael hissed at Emma, his face going pale. "Surprise," Emma said calmly. "I moved the rehearsal dinner up a day. Hope you don't mind." The room filled with confused but happy guests, taking seats, chatting, laughing, excited for tomorrow's ceremony, complimenting the decorations, hugging Emma, congratulating Michael and Sophie on being part of such a beautiful wedding. Michael and Sophie sat frozen in the front row, trapped by social convention, trapped by the growing crowd behind them, trapped by their own lies. In 60 seconds, Emma would walk to that microphone, and 200 lives would change forever. When everyone was seated, Emma walked to the microphone at the front of the room. She wore a white dress, not her wedding dress, something simpler, but close enough. She looked radiant, confident, every inch the blushing bride. The room quieted, all eyes on her. "Thank you all for coming," Emma began. Her voice was clear, strong, professional, like she was opening a business presentation. "I know the timing is unusual, but I have something important to share before tomorrow's ceremony." "Emma, don't," Michael whispered urgently from the front row. His face was red, panicked. She ignored him completely, didn't even glance his way. "Most of you know Michael and I have been together for 2 years. You've watched us fall in love, get engaged, plan this beautiful wedding." Guests smiled, nodded, some wiping away happy tears already. Emma's mom beamed from the third row. What Emma said next made the room go completely silent. "What you don't know is that for the past 6 months, Michael has been in love with someone else." The room went silent. Not quiet, silent. You could have heard a pin drop on the carpet. "Emma, stop," Sophie begged, her voice breaking. "That someone is sitting right here. My maid of honor, my best friend since college." Sophie Martinez gasps rippled through the crowd like a wave. Michael's mother stood up, hand over her mouth. Sophie's mother's face went white. Emma clicked her laptop. The projector behind her lit up with messages. Giant, undeniable, for everyone to see. "Michael, can't stop thinking about last night." "Sophie, me neither, but we need to be careful. Emma can't know before the wedding." The messages kept coming, and they got worse, much worse. More messages scrolled across the screen, dozens of them, explicit, detailed, planning their affair around wedding events, discussing how to handle Emma when the time came. The room was completely silent except for the sound of Sophie crying. Michael had his face buried in his hands. "This message," Emma's voice remained steady, professional, "is from March 15th, the day after Michael proposed to me. He proposed in the morning, spent that night with Sophie." Michael tried to stand. Emma's father was suddenly there, a former Marine with decades of authority in his posture. "Sit down, son." Michael sat. His father stared at him with disgust. More slides, screenshots of hotel reservations, receipts from romantic dinners Michael had claimed were client meetings, photos Sophie had posted on a private Instagram account Emma had discovered, photos showing Michael's belongings in Sophie's apartment, his jacket, his shoes, his toothbrush. but Emma saved the worst for last. My bachelorette party was last weekend. Michael told me he had a work emergency in Boston. He was actually at Sophie's apartment. Emma pulled up a photo. Sophie's Instagram story from that exact night. You could see Michael's reflection in her TV screen, see his jacket on her couch, the same jacket Emma had bought him for Christmas. Here's another interesting one. Remember our company retreat last February? Where Michael and I both went, where this supposedly started. Emma clicked to emails. Between Michael and Sophie. They'd been planning it for weeks. Michael, I can't wait to finally be with you without sneaking around. Sophie, I know Emma will be in meetings all day. We'll have the whole afternoon. The room was completely silent now. People staring at Michael and Sophie with unconcealed disgust. Some people had started to leave. Michael's business partner walked out without a word. Sophie's sister left crying. Then Emma played the video, and it destroyed them completely. I saved one more thing, Emma said quietly. Michael and Sophie's greatest hits, set to our first dance song, seemed appropriate. She clicked play. The video started. Their song played. At Last by Etta James, the song they'd chosen to represent their love. But instead of a romantic montage, the screen showed message after message, plan after plan, lie after lie. The final messages appeared. Sophie, we tell her the morning of the wedding. I'll fake sick, you'll get cold feet. Michael, and leave her with 200 guests. Sophie, she'll deal with it. We'll be free. The music ended. The room was silent except for the sound of multiple people crying. Emma's mother was sobbing. Michael's father had left the room. Sophie's mother sat with her face in her hands. They weren't even going to have the courage to tell me to my face, Emma continued. Sophie was going to fake being sick. Michael was going to get cold feet. And I was supposed to stand up here tomorrow, waiting for a groom who was never coming, while they ran off together and left me to deal with all of you alone. Michael's father returned, and what he did next shocked everyone. Michael's father, Richard Torres, walked back into the room. He'd been in the hallway on the phone. His face was red with rage. Michael, you're fired. Clean out your desk Monday. I don't care that you're my son. I don't employ men without character. Michael looked up, tears streaming down his face. Dad, please. Don't. I built that company on integrity. You have none. You're done. Sophie's mother finally stood up, walked to her daughter. For a moment, it looked like she might comfort her. Instead, you're not my daughter anymore. I raised you better than this. She walked out. Sophie collapsed, sobbing. Emma watched it all with no expression, no satisfaction, no pain. Just emptiness where love and friendship used to be. But Emma wasn't finished. She had one more thing to say, and it changed everything. The wedding tomorrow is canceled, Emma announced to the room. Obviously, but this venue is paid for, non-refundable. The food is ordered, the flowers are arranged, the DJ is booked, so we're having a party anyway. She looked around the room at faces shocked into silence, some confused, some supportive, some angry at Michael and Sophie, some just stunned. Tomorrow, we're celebrating something better than a wedding built on lies. We're celebrating truth, honesty, the courage it takes to walk away from people who don't deserve you. Anyone who's ever been betrayed, ever been lied to, ever been told they weren't enough when the truth is they were too good for the person who hurt them. Tomorrow's party is for all of us. The room erupted. not in applause immediately, first in whispers, then in growing support, then in standing applause. People stood, cheered, hugged Emma. Her business mentor stood up. "That's my girl. That's strength. That's courage." Her college roommate, "You're my hero. That was the bravest thing I've ever seen." Michael and Sophie tried to leave, but Emma had one more surprise. Michael and Sophie stood to flee through a side door, to escape the judgment, the stares, the whispers that were already spreading through the crowd. Emma had prepared for this too. "Oh, one more thing," Emma called out. They froze. "I've taken the liberty of sending tonight's presentation to a few people. Your HR department, Michael. Your family group chat, Sophie. And several mutual friends who asked what happened to the wedding." Michael's face went from pale to green. "You didn't." "I absolutely did. You wanted to control the narrative, to make me look like the workaholic who drove you away. I'm just making sure everyone knows the truth." Sophie was crying so hard she could barely stand. "Emma, please. You've destroyed us. Isn't that enough?" "Destroyed you?" Emma's laugh was cold. "You destroyed yourselves. I just turned on the lights and let everyone see. They fled. But the story was just beginning to spread." Michael and Sophie finally escaped through a side exit. The room buzzed with conversation. Shock, support for Emma, disgust for the betrayers. Emma's phone started buzzing immediately. Text messages, emails, DMS friends who'd heard, friends of friends. The video was already being shared. Someone had recorded the whole thing, posted it online. Within an hour, it had 10,000 views. Within 3 hours, 100,000. By midnight, it was trending on 3 platforms. # wedding revenge became the top trend worldwide. News outlets started calling. "We'd love to interview you about your viral wedding revenge." Talk shows reached out. "Would you come on and tell your story?" Emma declined them all. She'd said what she needed to say, to the people who needed to hear it. That night, alone in her apartment, Emma finally allowed herself to feel, sat on her couch with Lauren, cried. Not for Michael, not for Sophie, but for the versions of them she'd loved, the versions that had never really existed. 24 hours later, the consequences started. And they were severe. Michael's company fired him the next day. His father's company. The company he'd expected to inherit someday. "Your actions demonstrate a fundamental lack of character that is incompatible with our company values," the termination letter read. His professional network abandoned him. LinkedIn connections disappeared. Business contacts stopped responding to emails. Word spread fast in their industry. Nobody wanted to work with someone who'd publicly humiliated his fiancé. Sophie lost her entire social circle within 48 hours. Every group chat went silent when she posted. Every friend request was declined. Her own sister blocked her on all platforms. Her company's HR called her in. "Several clients have expressed discomfort with you representing our firm after the incident at the weekend. We're letting you go." She was fired from the marketing agency where she'd worked for 5 years. The Freedom Party the next day became legendary. And Emma did something unexpected. The party happened as Emma promised. She wore a beautiful dress, not white, red, bold, confident. 150 people showed up, not all 200. Some had sided with Michael or Sophie, most hadn't. The DJ played. People danced, celebrated. Emma gave a speech that would be quoted for years. "Today I'm celebrating freedom. Freedom from people who pretended to love me. Freedom from lies disguised as loyalty. freedom to build a life with people who deserve to be in it. She'd done something else too, something she'd decided that morning. I'm donating my entire wedding budget to organizations that help people escape toxic relationships, $85,000. Because if my pain can help someone else find strength, then something good came from this. The room erupted in applause again. Her mother cried. Her father hugged her. Lauren stood beside her, proud. 6 months later, Emma heard something that shocked her, but she knew exactly how to respond. 6 months after the wedding that wasn't, Emma's business had grown 40%. New clients specifically sought her out. "We want to work with someone who has integrity," they said. "Someone who stands up for themselves." She'd started dating someone new, someone honest, someone who treated her with actual respect. His name was David, a teacher. Nothing like Michael. He knew the whole story. Loved her anyway, loved her more for it. One evening, Emma received a message request on Instagram from Sophie. She hadn't heard from either of them since that night. "I know you'll probably delete this without reading," the message began. "But I wanted to say I'm sorry. Really, truly sorry. You deserved better. We both betrayed you in the worst way possible. I've spent these 6 months in therapy trying to understand how I became someone capable of doing what I did." What Sophie wrote next surprised Emma, but not enough to change her mind. The message continued. "I don't expect forgiveness. I don't deserve it. I just wanted you to know that publicly exposing us was the best thing that could have happened to me. It forced me to face who I'd become, to change, to get help. I'm not asking to be friends again. I know that's impossible. I just wanted to say thank you for holding up that mirror. Even though it destroyed me at the time, it saved me in the end. Michael and I broke up, by the way. Turns out relationships built on betrayal don't last. Who knew? I hope you're happy, Em. You deserve happiness, real happiness, not the fake version I pretended to want for you while I was sabotaging it. I'm sorry." Emma read the message twice, felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, no desire for reconciliation. Just emptiness where friendship used to be. She didn't respond. Simply closed the message, deleted it. Some bridges once burned should stay burned. Some people, once they show you who they are, should be believed the first time. A year later, Emma made a decision that surprised everyone, including herself. A year after the wedding that wasn't, Emma was thriving. Her business had doubled again. She'd been featured in Forbes' 30 Under 30. Her relationship with David was strong, healthy, built on actual honesty. They'd moved in together, taken trips, met each other's families, actually met them. No secrets, no hidden siblings or ex-wives or double lives. Just honest, normal relationship progression. One evening, she received another message, this one from Michael's mother, Patricia. "Emma, I know I have no right to reach out, but I wanted to apologize for my son, for not raising him to be a better man, for not seeing what he was doing. I think about you often. Wonder how you are. You showed incredible strength that day. Strength I wish I'd taught my son to have. I hope you're well." Emma stared at the message for a long time, finally typed a response. Emma's response showed just how much she'd grown and who she'd become. "Patricia, thank you for reaching out. I appreciate the apology. You're not responsible for Michael's choices. He's an adult. He made his decisions. I've moved on. I'm happy. Really happy. I hope you're doing well too." She hit send, then added one more message. And Patricia? Tell Michael if he ever contacts me, I'll add the restraining order I've been considering. I mean that. Patricia responded immediately. He won't. I promise, I've made that very clear to him. Be well, Emma. Emma showed the exchange to David that evening. Think I did the right thing. I think you're incredible, he said. You could have been cruel. You weren't. You set a boundary and moved on. That's strength. I learned something from all this, Emma said. Revenge isn't about destroying people, it's about refusing to let them destroy you. 2 years after the betrayal, Emma stood in that same venue. But this time, everything was different. 2 years later, Emma returned to the same venue. The place where she'd exposed Michael and Sophie. The place where she'd weaponized her own wedding. This time, she was actually getting married. To David. The guest list was smaller. 100 people instead of 200. All people she trusted. All people who'd been there for her. Her father walked her down the aisle. Her mother cried happy tears. Lauren was her maid of honor. For real this time. As Emma stood at the altar, David holding her hands, she thought about that night 2 years ago. The worst night that became the best night. The night she learned what she was really made of. I, Emma Walsh, take you, David Chen, to be my husband, she said clearly. I promise to always tell you the truth. To choose you every day. To never make you wonder if you're enough. Because you are, you always have been. David's vows made her cry. I, David Chen, take you, Emma Walsh, to be my wife. I promise to see you, really see you. To celebrate your strength. To never take for granted that you chose me. You're the bravest person I know. And I'm honored to spend my life with you. They kissed. Everyone cheered. And Emma realized something important. The wedding that didn't happen had led her here. To this moment, to this person, to this life. Sometimes the worst betrayal leads to the best outcome, because it shows you who you really are. 5 years after Michael and Sophie's betrayal, Emma Walsh ran a multi-million-dollar consulting firm, had been happily married for 3 years, and had just found out she was pregnant with her first child. She'd written a book about her experience. Weaponize Your Pain, Turning Betrayal into Strength. It had become a bestseller. Women across the world reached out to thank her, to share their own stories, to say she'd inspired them to leave toxic relationships, to demand better, to refuse to be victims. Michael had moved to another state, worked in a different field, and never fully recovered his reputation. Sophie had also moved away, started over. They'd both learned expensive lessons about consequences. Emma didn't think about them anymore, didn't check their social media, didn't wonder if they were happy. She'd truly moved on. The wedding that didn't happen had taught her what love isn't. And in learning that, she'd learned what it should be, what it could be, what it was now. She'd learned that real love doesn't leave when times get hard. Real love doesn't make you feel crazy for trusting. Real love doesn't require you to be smaller so someone else can feel bigger. And she'd learned that she was strong enough to demand that kind of love, to wait for it, to recognize it when it arrived. The trash had taken itself out. She'd just made sure everyone watched it go. What did you think of Emma's story? Comment below, rate this story 0 to 10. Subscribe for more powerful stories of justice and standing up for yourself.